Back in my grade school days, I attended this all-boys Catholic high school. It was the kind of place where priests and nuns were our teachers, and life was pretty structured. Now, there was this one thing that always caught my eye and, honestly, made me a little curious. It was about Sister Abby and Father Bray. I kept seeing them riding together in the van. Just the two of them? It just seemed a bit off to me. I couldn't help but notice it. Every time they'd sit right next to each other, deep in conversation, even when the van had plenty of other empty seats. It was like they were in their own private bubble, totally absorbed in their chat, oblivious to anyone else. They seemed so happy, so in sync, as if nothing in the world could bother them. And I've got to admit, it made me a bit uncomfortable. I mean, everything I had been taught, all the lessons in school and church, said that priests and nuns were supposed to be celibate. They dedicate their lives to God, and that means no romantic or intimate relationships. So, seeing Sister Abby and Father Bray always together, looking so close, it just didn't quite add up in my young mind. Why were they always together? What was the deal with their seemingly inseparable bond? Despite my burning curiosity, I kept my thoughts to myself. I was just a kid, and the last thing I wanted was to stir up trouble or start some kind of drama. I didn't want to get anyone in trouble, especially not teachers I respected. But still, in the back of my mind, the question lingered. What was really going on between them? My imagination ran wild, trying to piece together the puzzle of their friendship. Then one day, it happened. I found myself in the van, and it was just me, Sister Abby, and Father Bray. I was in the back, and just like always, they were sitting next to each other up front, chatting away like old friends. The silence in the van, apart from their conversation, amplified my curiosity until I just couldn't hold it in anymore. I had to ask. I tried to sound as casual and nonchalant as possible. I took a deep breath and said, So, Sister Abby and Father Bray, do you guys always ride together when you have to go somewhere? It felt like a bold move, but I had to know. Sister Abby turned around with a warm, gentle smile. It was the kind of smile that immediately put you at ease. Yes, we do, she replied cheerfully. It is just more convenient for us to travel together since we actually live in the same convent. Her answer was simple and logical, but it didn't fully satisfy the big question mark hanging in my head. I hesitated for a second, then decided to just go for it. This was my chance. But, I started feeling my cheeks get a little warm. Aren't priests and nuns not supposed to, have such close relationships? I kind of mumbled the last part, worried I had crossed a line. Father Bray let out a soft, kind chuckle. He turned around and gently patted my head, a gesture that felt both fatherly and reassuring. Oh, sweetie, he said, his voice full of warmth. Sister Abby and I are just very good friends. We share a deep passion for teaching, for helping you boys learn and grow. We really enjoy each other's company. and support each other in our work. There's nothing more to it." As he spoke, it was like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. A wave of relief washed over me. I had been worried for absolutely no reason. All my speculation, all the little scenarios I had built up in my head, they were all wrong. They were just friends, really good friends who happened to share a vocation, a workplace, and a place to live. It was as simple as that. The rest of the van ride was different. I wasn't watching them with suspicion anymore. Instead, I observed them with a newfound understanding. I saw how comfortable and relaxed they were with each other. It wasn't the tension of a secret romance. It was the easy, familiar comfort of a long-standing friendship. You could tell they had known each other for years, that they'd been through a lot together, and had built a bond based on mutual respect and shared values. From that day on, my perspective completely changed. I stopped overthinking their interactions. I stopped looking for hidden meanings that weren't there. Instead, I started to appreciate the beautiful bond they shared. They weren't just our teachers, these figures of authority we saw in the classroom. They were also human beings, with friendships that sustained them and brought them joy. They were great friends who supported each other in their shared mission of educating us. That whole experience taught me a really valuable lesson, one that has stuck with me ever since. Don't judge a book by its cover, and more importantly, don't jump to conclusions. Sometimes things aren't what they seem on the surface, and our minds can invent stories that are far from the truth. It's always better to approach situations with an open mind and a willingness to understand, rather than to judge based on appearances or assumptions. As for Sister Abby and Father Bray, I was so happy to have them as my teachers. Their passion for education was infectious. But I was even happier to have witnessed their incredible friendship, seeing it thrive. Seeing them support each other day in and day out was a lesson in itself. It was a beautiful example of a platonic, supportive relationship, and it taught me that friendship can be one of an educator's greatest strengths. It was a simple, everyday moment from my school days, but it left a lasting impact on how I see the world and the people in it. Thanks so much for listening to my story today. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories. See you in the next one.